Ex-servicemen under the aegis of the Coalition of Concerned Veterans took to the streets of Abuja on Wednesday to protest the non-payment of their outstanding allowances by the federal government for over 24 months. The group gathered at the Federal Ministry of Finance headquarters Abuja, insisting that they would not leave the premises until their demands were granted. Some of the inscriptions on the placards they carried read, "We appeal to President Muhammadu Buhari to please direct the immediate inclusion of Nigeria's Civil War veterans that were verified in 2015 into pension payroll. Military veterans demand immediate payment of 24 months arrears of minimum wage approved. Review of the wide disparity in payments and pensions across the ranks of serving and retired personnel." The national coordinator of CCV, Abiodun Herbert, told newsmen that the decision to embark on the peaceful protest was because of the persistent suffering, untold hardship, and clear neglect of its members by the authorities, despite serving the country and ensuring that the country remained united, peaceful, and free as it is today. He said,
"The demands, one of the demands, like you can see on our banners, is the non-payment of our accruing 24 months of minimum wage that was approved in 2019 by President Muhammadu Buhari. The other demand is the, what's it called now, the Security Development Allowance, SDA. The Security Development Allowance is an allowance payable to every retiree for as long as you have served in the armed forces, Army, Navy, and Air Force. And that Security Development Allowance is an allowance that will debar you from engaging the skill that you acquired in the course of your serving against the state. The issue of National Health Insurance Scheme. You go to any hospital, what you are given is Panadol. The most critical aspect of our health are not taken care. It's not covered by the National Health Insurance Scheme. We also have the issue of disparity in the payment of pension and salaries to both serving and retired members of the Nigerian Armed Forces. You see the gap between a brigadier general and a major general, which is just one step. The pension or the salary as we speak today is about 3 times. 3 times of what a brigadier general takes is what a major general is taking, whether serving or retired. So that gap is too much, and it cuts across.
The coordinator added that despite the letters that were written to the Ministry of Finance, nothing had been done, hence the protest.
And it is not our intention to come out to wash our dirty linen in public, but we have done everything humanly possible at ensuring that we do not come out. But of all the series of letters written to them, not even an official response. And we thought to ourselves that the best way to do it is to come out.
When asked how he felt about the situation after serving the country for almost 35 years, he said,
"Very bad. Very bad. Honestly, most of us are regretting. And of course, as you know, those of our colleagues that are still serving at the moment are not happy. I must assure you, because they know they are going to come out and face the same challenge. And we have told government that if there's any segment of the society that must not be taken for granted, it is those of us, the military, the serving, and the retired, who had laid down their lives. They are youthful ages. They are no longer useful for themselves now. There's nothing too much to give to these people."
While the protest was ongoing, the Finance Permanent Secretary Aliyu Ahmed arrived at the scene and asked the protesting ex-servicemen what they wanted the ministry to do for them. Durowaya Herbert told him that their primary reason for gathering at the headquarters was to remind the federal government about their official letter written to the Ministry of Finance over the non-payment of their 24-month arrears. Responding, Ahmed said,
"In the first instance, that payment that you are referring to is quite heavy, so there was no way it could have been paid for in 2021. So what we have done is to include it in the 2022 budget. And I'm aware that Commodore Lawal,
Rear Admiral now.
Rear Admiral Lawal of Military Pensions Board has informed you that it's in the budget. And I want to reassure you, as the custodian of the budget, that that money is in the budget. And as soon as we settle in, and we start issuing warrants to expend this budget, Mr. President has already signed the budget. So one of the things I would like to plead with you is to please allow us, because this is a critical moment for the Federal Ministry of Finance. Mr. President just signed the budget, and we're in the process of issuing warrants, to ensure that we make releases to address the very same issue that you are raising right now.
The group asked the permanent secretary to issue an official document stating when they would be paid. If not, they will not leave the premises. Ahmed, reacting to their demand, said,
Indicated you have written.
Yes, sir.
We are going to respond to that letter.
Yes, sir.
Assuring you, we have an event this morning, and you know it. There is come tomorrow, please. Come tomorrow. I'm pleading with you.
What time tomorrow, sir?
The group insisted that they would sleep outside the gates until tomorrow when the document will be ready.
Gentlemen,
and
we'll be here now. We are here till tomorrow.
So we
can
be here.
We are going road.
You are driving people away.
No, we don't have that. We are not letting anybody. We don't have the
Invited people.
Yes.
Okay, we sleep here that tomorrow.
We still have to go.
We are soldiers. We are being betrayed.
We are added duty for you now. We are just added duty. We will not harass anybody. We are assuring you, sir.
We are assuring you.
The group's director of media, Roy Okidievbie, added that if their demands were not met, they would come out in their numbers on January 15, 2022 to stage another protest.
Because on the 15th of January, sir, we are coming out to picket, and that is the time that we expect ourselves to be shot, because we are going to block the roads. We are going to make sure that we become the nuisance that the government has made us in our hearts.
The permanent secretary, however, pleaded with them to stand down, adding that their demands would be granted as preparations were ongoing.